think I always start these jobs feeling intimidated by them being so large, and then I find an excitement to get back in it, but they're intimidating.
She started on her path to redemption in Avengers, The Children's Crusade #9. Scarlet was key in defeating one of Marvel's all-time greatest villains, Doctor Doom. In Avengers vs. X-Men, she joined the Avengers to take down the X-Men, even helping eliminate the Phoenix, an ancient cosmic entity. What's next for Scarlet Witch?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. It looks like Marvel's actually working on a Scarlet Witch movie. There was some production weekly information that leaked recently saying that it was actually going to be starting production sooner than we all expected. But as far back as a couple years ago, Kevin Feige was talking about a Scarlet Witch movie. We learned about the alternate plot for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness before they changed it and turned her into a villain during the movie. There were a bunch of plot elements that were going to happen during that Kevin Feige purposefully said that they saved for a future Scarlet Witch movie. So we'll explain what those were, because they confirm a couple big theories that we all had when WandaVision was happening, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was happening, and then Agatha, which is happening next week. I will be doing episode videos for that, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. Also, notice on the schedule they just released for that, this is the official Marvel schedule. They're doing a 2-episode premiere like they typically do for all their Disney Plus shows, but they're also doing a 2-episode finale, doubling up so that they both air before Halloween. You also notice Zoom and Enhance episode 6 is circled in red, and the handwriting looks just like Scarlet Witch's handwriting on this other form in the other promos. So it just seems like something really big Scarlet Witch related is happening in Agatha episode 6, but I'm sure there'll be references all throughout the Agatha series because Joe Locke is playing a version of Billy, also confirmed by one of the other new promos that subtitle him as Billy. Marvel Secret's always getting called out by their subtitles. Mark Ruffalo, Tom Holland would be proud. There's also a lot of Darkhold going on in the new Agatha promos too, so I'll explain that later in the video. But the real big deal here is the actual Scarlet Witch movie. Like, I think we thought that they would eventually make one, but we had no idea when that was going to happen. Is it going to be after Secret Wars? Will it be before Secret Wars? There's not a whole lot of time for them to actually start making brand new movies and get them out before Secret Wars. Like, they got to start moving pretty fast. They want to get stuff out. This brand new production weekly basically says that they're going to start production on that Scarlet Witch movie pretty soon. I don't know how accurate this is because I've seen things like this before that do not completely pan out. Like Marvel has a movie that they want to put into production and they cancel it for some reason down the road. Just because something gets put on the board like this doesn't mean that they actually begin rolling cameras on an actual movie. But Elizabeth Olsen has been talking about doing a Scarlet Witch movie for a long time. Kevin Feige has been talking about doing it for a long time. So it just seems like it's a foregone conclusion that at some point we will see this Scarlet Witch movie.
What future storyline for Wanda do you want?
Well, honestly, if I were to tell you exactly what I would want, I think I would maybe be spoiling something because Kevin Feige genuinely asks us what we want to do with the character, and then he does it. So I think I don't know if I can share, but I just want to come back.
Here's the thing. We actually found out some of the stuff that they're going to be dealing with during that movie. And it's all because of the very controversial Beau DeMayo, who was one of the showrunners, creators of X-Men 97. I'm not going to do like a whole separate video about the tea that he was trying to spill all over his OnlyFans. You can go out and subscribe to his OnlyFans if you really want to that much. But one of his posts where he was trying to reveal all these big things about Marvel, I'm sure this will not go well for him, like they're probably going to try and sue him out of existence. But one of his posts basically covers the original plot for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which involves a very, very different Scarlet Witch story that they're going to save elements of for a Scarlet Witch movie. This is what he posted about Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. In his own words, he says, OG drafts did her justice. Then remember, this is Doctor Strange too. Wanda was with Strange, recovering after Westview, feeling bad about what she did. We talked about that after WandaVision came out, and then we saw the beginning of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Like, why is she so evil all of a sudden? What's going on here? Well, he explains that in a second. He goes on to say Scarlet Witch helps him, Doctor Strange, Wong and Chavez, who she's tutoring. So that means that Scarlet Witch was tutoring America Chavez to be Nightmare across the multiverse, who was meant to be the main villain of that movie. Back when Scott Derrickson was still the director of the movie, Nightmare was meant to be the main villain of the film. These are a bunch of deleted scenes from that version of the movie. There was a whole bunch of pre-production and previs that they did on it. This is him facing Nightmare at this lake house here. He was supposed to be dealing with a lot of unresolved trauma from his sister's death, Doctor Strange's sister's death. Nightmare was going to be using that against him. Then Bo DeMeo goes on to say, where Scarlet Witch also sees her variants in the multiverse with her kids. So we saw a version of this during the actual theatrical cut of the movie where she's seeing across the multiverse with versions of her with her kids. He says, still, Wanda resists and she, not America Chavez, helps Strange save the day against Nightmare, who turns out to be a Darkhold corrupted Strange variant. I think in this version of the movie, he would have been the Strange Supreme that we saw in the theatrical cut, like that evil Doctor Strange that he winds up facing. And it would have been reading the Darkhold that corrupted him. Then he says also she used her experiences in WandaVision to warn America Chavez about abusing her power and the path that would lead her on. Only after saving the day, unable to resist finding a multiverse where she can be with her kids, does Wanda, sobbing, break from Doctor Strange and accidentally beheads Wong, who tries to stop her from fleeing into the multiverse, and that was meant to be the film's cliffhanger. Like that would have been the end of the movie. So that's obviously a pretty big twist. The movie ends with Scarlet Witch beheading Wong, so it sounds like Marvel wanted to keep Wong around for a lot longer. Like we wanted to put him in a whole bunch of other things. Like you saw him during the She-Hulk series. He's doing all this stuff on the side with the Abomination. Generally, Marvel seems like they're turning Wong into like the new Coulson, where they just put him into a whole bunch of different things. Reportedly then, Kevin Feige and Michael Waldron, the writer of the movie, decided to change that original storyline that Bo DeMeo revealed. Michael Waldron, the writer, had not watched WandaVision and really wanted to make Wanda the antagonist. This led to a complete overhaul of the plot, and at one point, Chthon, god of chaos, was going to play a significant role in the film, but Kevin Feige wanted to save him for a later Scarlet Witch movie. So there's a whole lot of tea being spilled behind the scenes there in this original Scarlet Witch plot for Doctor Strange 2. It just paints her as more heroic, and it sounds like it dovetails with the plot of WandaVision better. And it sounds like a lot of the confusion and the complaints about her character during the movie are mostly due to the writer, Michael Waldron, not knowing what was going on during WandaVision and not knowing where her character was at the end of that series. Really seems like all the Marvel people that are making stuff that's meant to be connected should watch each other's things before they write their next thing. But talking more about Chthon, god of chaos, in the Scarlet Witch movie, so the whole idea during Doctor Strange 2, Kevin Feige revealed after the movie came out that the Darkhold Temple was meant to have been created by Chthon. Wong mentions him specifically during the movie. The whole idea is that all the Darkhold books were just copied from the writings inside the temple. Like the temple was the original thing that Chthon created, then the Darkhold was just copied from those around the multiverse. They actually just showed a brand new scene in present day with the Darkhold in someone's crib in one of the Agatha trailers. It's not clear if it's going to be Billy's crib, like if it's more references to Billy's origin story on WandaVision and the circumstances surrounding that, or if it's just like a random crib. Because we actually saw the Darkhold of the MCU destroyed during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Marvel also revealed that when Scarlet Witch destroyed the Darkhold Temple, that destroyed all copies of the Darkhold across the multiverse, so theoretically there should be no Darkholds available anywhere in present day. Agatha's meant to take place 2 years after WandaVision, so a little while after Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, like literally the minute the Scarlet Witch's body is destroyed, she's able to break out of her spell. But they actually reveal during the trailer that it's Billy who's the one to break her out of the spell because his magic works just like Scarlet Witch's magic. Like mother, like son. During Doctor Strange 2, part of the idea is that I think most of us believe that she was going to be twisted by her reading the Darkhold, because in the comics, the whole idea is that Chthon creates the Darkhold as a way to help make his way back into the MCU universe. He's meant to be one of the really powerful elder gods that was banished outside the universe in ancient times. So throughout the comics, he's always seeking different ways to make his way back into the universe so that he can conquer it, and Scarlet Witch becomes his backdoor key into the universe again. He's meant to be the person who gave Scarlet Witch her chaos magic when she was born. So the idea with Scarlet Witch, and they sort of carry this forward into the MCU, is that she was always born with magic, like she was always born a witch. But it was Chthon that gave her chaos magic on top of that, making her the Scarlet Witch. Then it was the Mind Stone that fully unlocked her powers and gave her access to all of her abilities. Part of the original plot of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is that Chthon was actually going to use her in the Darkhold Temple, the power of the Darkhold Temple, to conquer the multiverse with her chaos magic, and then he was basically going to take control of her, thus controlling the entire multiverse. So part of the idea, I think, is that Doctor Strange 2, at least in Kevin Feige's mind, if he's saving stuff from plot elements in that movie for future movies, he's intending for that to be set up for a Scarlet Witch movie eventually. In the way they're referring to the Agatha series, it's part 2 of a Scarlet Witch trilogy, just talking about a WandaVision trilogy. Like WandaVision is part 1, Agatha is part 2, and the new Vision TV series, they're calling it Vision Quest for now, is meant to be part 3. During that trilogy, they're sort of using that to explain how she returns to the MCU. Like her body was destroyed, how are they going to bring her back? So they're using this Witch's Road during Agatha as a way to do that. Supposedly, just based on all the trailer footage, it seems like Billy's whole deal is that Scarlet Witch laid a magic spell on him that prevents him from revealing his identity, and he doesn't fully know who he is or where he comes from, and he's trying to figure that out, and he's started to, and that's why he seeks Agatha's help, breaking her out of the spell the Scarlet Witch put her in. She's meant to be the only person in the MCU who's successfully walked the Witch's Road, and canonically the way they explain it in all the trailers is that if you walk the Witch's Road successfully, it will give you your heart's greatest desire. And based on all the trailer footage, it seems like Billy's greatest desire is just learning who he is, where he comes from, who his family is. There's all these jokes about them calling him Teen, like this generic term, like, hey Teen, how's it going? All because the spell prevents him from speaking his name. So they just start calling him Teen, and it just sticks. It sounds like by the end of the series, he'll realize that he is Billy, the son of Scarlet Witch, and he'll learn what really happened to her and start on his quest to actually bring her back. My assumption, just based on the way that they're doing this, like Billy comes back during Agatha, then Tommy will come back, like the teenage version of Tommy with a recast actor during the Vision TV series. And we'll probably see Scarlet Witch actually fully back in the MCU by the end of the Vision series, or at least by the beginning of Avengers 5, because I think that's the timeline they're working on. She's either supposed to come back right before or right after Avengers 5. I think she was supposed to be in Avengers 5. Everybody seems to think this Scarlet Witch movie is coming out between Avengers 5 and Secret Wars, like before Secret Wars, but in 2026. Like I said, that's coming up pretty soon. Like they really have to start production soon if they want to get that movie out in 2026. Just because Kevin Feige sounds like he wanted to save Chthon, God of Chaos, for a Scarlet Witch movie, he might wind up being the main villain of that movie. The other big storyline that Elizabeth Olsen has also talked about doing in the past and the future is X-Men based stuff and Children's Crusade storyline. The whole idea with the Children's Crusade is more of a Young Avengers story where Billy and Tommy learn that they're brothers from other families, that they've been reincarnated into new bodies, and that's why they didn't know each other at first. Then they learn Scarlet Witch was their mother, and then they seek her out, and you get the plot of that. Like Elizabeth Olsen during this is talking about her going up against Doctor Doom. There's this whole separate plot with Doctor Doom during the movie. I know we have a bunch of Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom stuff too. Just because his Doctor Doom is so critical to the plot of Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, I don't know how much of him we'd see in a potential Scarlet Witch movie. Generally, they might just swap him out in that story for Chthon, God of Chaos. Part of the reason why Doctor Doom becomes this big Scarlet Witch character in the Avengers Crusade, though, is because he is a man of magic and a man of science. Like, he has a foot in both worlds. We'll see how they visualize this when we see Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Part of the reason why he's such a big Avengers-level threat, not just the Robert Downey Jr. version, is because he uses magic to enhance his technology in a way that Doctor Strange would not use technology and Tony Stark would not use magic. This is also just the beginning. There's supposedly Young Avengers stuff happening in the background too during the big movies, so we might also see some Young Avengers stuff happening during a theoretical Scarlet Witch movie, but it still seems like it's pretty early days. Everybody, post all your predictions in the comments below and your reactions. What do you want them to do during a Scarlet Witch movie? It would be really cool to see her go up against Doctor Doom, but like I said, because of the timing of when this movie sounds like it's going to come out in all the Robert Downey Jr. Avengers 5 and Avengers 6 Doctor Doom stuff, it just feels like it's too much, like we won't see him in that Scarlet Witch movie. Just imagine she destroys the Darkhold Temple and then Chthon pulls a Thanos saying, fine, I'll do it myself, so he enters the chat, basically becomes the antagonist of the movie. Like I said, it sounds like that was all part of the plot that got removed from the movie because Kevin Feige's like, let's just save that for a future film. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. We have the Agatha episodes starting next week on Tuesday. Of course, I'll do videos for that. They should post on Wednesday morning, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss those. Everybody click here to learn how Marvel and Sony just changed Spider-Man 4 to involve the Venom and the Null characters, and click here for that brand new Venom: The Last Dance Null trailer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.